Hello everyone, welcome to this End Times Watcher session. My name is Kai and I am just an End Times Watcher. I will be sharing what I read and perceive from both current events and the Bible pertaining to End Times. As promised, we shall dive into the outcome of the World Health Assembly 78, which ended on 29 May. And of course, we are only interested in the pandemic agreement. I will not hold any suspense. The outcome is worrisome. It is not who is pushing, but who, as in WHO, is pushing. And they are pushing to speed things up very hard. The website for WHA 78 meeting lists out all the former articles that took place during the past 10 days of meeting. This page lists most of them, 27th of May. Notice Article 78/4 Addendum 2. They've gotten their hands into climate change. Although this will be another topic for another day, do expect extreme weather conditions to continue this year. As we scroll down the list of documents, the topics that we are looking for starts to show up. Health emergency preparedness. Intergovernmental negotiating body. This body was set up to address issues following COVID-19. Draft resolution of WHO pandemic agreement. The documents are all here that summarizes what to expect going forward. International health regulations. Another health emergency preparedness. You can download these PDF files and read for yourself. As we scroll down the list, the document titles get even more interesting. International Health Regulation again. The short form IHR is commonly used now. You may hear it from your local government. And the one at the bottom, Pandemic Agreement Procedural Matters. By the way, all these are available in the WHO website. The link is up here. And finally, as we scroll further down, we reach the document that if you skip all other documents, you must not skip this one. It is so important that they label it as WHA 78.1. Dot 1, the very first document. The first page of the document looks like this. It references back to the early decisions made in SSA 2 in 2021. That was when they started, and to last year's World Health Assembly, WHA 77, to which I've already given you a summary analysis in S09 and S13. The highlights are a pandemic emergency will be declared as long as one of the listed here is deemed high risk. We have covered that before. Any of the situations can be deemed high risk since there's no threshold bar defined. And secondly, they have the right to enforce vaccination. I covered that in detail in my video S09 a year ago. You can check that video if you are still not convinced. We move on to the current document, WHA 78.1. On page 9, Chapter 1, Article 1-C, the high-risk definition is repeated, and in 1-E, it explicitly states that all parties, meaning state or country, are bound by this agreement, meaning they can use the law to enforce it to any country since they are bound to this. Next, in 1-J, there's a new term, Regional Economic Integration Organization. It means that this organization is made up of several countries together, calling each of them member states. And these countries or member states have transferred their competence, including the authority to make decisions, to WHO. And once formed, it is binding. You see where this is going? They have put in a lot of effort to ensure total control when they need to wield it. At that time, if a country or its citizens cry mother, cry father, cry mother, cry father, kabe kabo, is a local slang meaning protest. Even if you protest then, petition or take to the streets with demonstrations, they will just slap these pre-agreed laws to you and shut you up. It is now legal and binding. We fast forward to Article 17, International Cooperation. Parties or countries are expected to cooperate with relevant international organizations, and these organizations will be facilitated by WHO. Now, let's move backwards to Article 10 and 11. Here, they started talking about local production. meaning the countries are encouraged to develop capabilities to produce vaccines, but this not in-house, but producing their prescribed vaccines. This is to ensure sustainability. Shipping temperatures have to be between -60 to -90 degrees Celsius. That is way, way below freezing. But if they are produced locally, they can be stored around 2 to 8 degrees Celsius for up to 10 weeks. With production centers spread out across the globe, vaccines can be rolled out fast and efficient. And one country in this region has already started building this capability. And you know which country I am referring to. Finally, let us look at Article 15. Another topic materializes whole of government and whole of society approach. If I read it correctly, it sounds like approving vigilantes to check around the neighborhood. Meaning, your neighbor thinking that he will be a good citizen will check on you and report if you are unvexed. They can also use force to restrain you or prevent you from escaping so that no one can hide or escape detection. In summary, the new things that have been fleshed out in this latest version are they will use their own international organization and take over decision making to control each country in the name of pandemic emergency. IHR will be formalized, and so will local vigilantes. I will cover IHR in later detail. Their people will be put in place both locally and globally. And this agreement will become legal and binding for them to act openly. And no one can object. After all, you all have agreed to it. Note that the details that have been fleshed out in WHA 77 does not become obsolete. WHA 77 key points are give them the right to declare pandemic emergency and the right to enforce vaccination. WHA 78 put in controls to help them enforce it. WHA 78 adds on to WHA 77. That is why WHA 78.1 is called an annex. So when will this agreement be cast into concrete? They've gotten the majority vote to proceed on 19th May, but their paper was finalized and submitted on 20th May. And in the Article 33, this agreement will enter into force. Such strong words. Enforce in 30 days' time, meaning 19 June. And to make sure they cover all legal loopholes, it is referenced again 3 times for 3 slightly different conditions. 30 days? In the past, they said it has to sit for 12 months before it can become law. WHO is really pushing hard. They even sneak this into the agreement. Most countries will not have enough time to mull through and object. Now you understand the title of this video. Before I close, there are 3 other terms before Article 33. Article 28 is about annexes. For annexes, the objection deadline is 6 months. After that, it will be enforced. But what are annexes? If I understood what I read, it is for new items that they want to add into the agreement. This is an open door for them to push in some more controls that they may have missed out earlier. Article 27 is amendments. Amendments have a cooling off time of 90 days. Amendments, as the name implies, are corrections to the existing agreement, not something new as in annexes. And finally, protocols, meaning proposing how to implement or do things. I was initially confused by these, as the pandemic agreement deadline for objections is further down in Article 33. So, if people tell you it is 3 months or 6 months, it is for annexes and amendments. This agreement itself has only 30 days for objections to be submitted. There is another term that I did not cover yet, as there's so much documentation on it, and that is the International Health Regulation, or IHR for short. Closely linked to that is a new term, Conference of Parties. They will be responsible for implementing the IHR teams in the member states, meaning in your country and in my country. And the IHR teams will report to them. There is a lot to read up on this. After all, the document was already in place since 2005. There are just too many facets to it, and I hope I will be able to distill most of them and present the relevant ones in the next session. Till then, this is Kyle. See you in the next session. If you find this video beneficial, please click the like icon. YouTube algorithm automatically recommends it to others if there are higher like counts. You can also subscribe to my channel so that you can see my past and future videos. Finally, please forward and share with your friends so that they too can benefit. Thank you and God bless.